And our final segment here on the podcast, Championship Gold, is obviously an aspiration for all pro wrestlers, but total nonstop action with a little bit of controversy. And I wanted to share my thoughts on it because it's been quite some time since we've seen this person in a large scale promotional, in terms of a pro wrestling promotion, I should say. There was a lot of controversy, a lot of discourse involving this person. And it was rumored that she would be returning to TNA. We just didn't know how soon. Tessa Blanchard apparently is back with TNA. And there is an uproar in regards to her return. For those who don't know, Tessa Blanchard, a daughter of Tully Blanchard, a former member of the Brainbusters and the Four Horsemen. One of the all-time greats when it comes to tag team wrestling, Tully Blanchard. His daughter, Tessa Blanchard, High Promise, as a young women's wrestler, was actually featured on the very first All In 2018. Became a TNA superstar, spent some time in NXT, but eventually went to the Indies and joined Total Nonstop Action. Eventually became one of the first, became the first woman to hold the TNA Championship, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Something China never did. Hold a men's world title. She held the Intercontinental, but never the main title of a large-scale North American promotion. This was in 2020, when the world was on the verge of shutting down, and then it eventually shut down. But amidst all that, there was scrutiny. There was a lot of criticism about Tessa Blanchard being the champion. Did it devalue the title? Did it lessen the TNA World Championship because a woman held it? Those were some arguments being made there. But that's not why the story of Tessa Blanchard is so controversial. Around this time, it was then being revealed that there were allegations of racism and bullying by Tessa Blanchard. That she was not a pleasant person to be around in the locker room, during the backstage. And that's one thing you don't want. You don't want to have this level of tension. You don't want to have this unnecessary stress. And apparently, not only was Tessa Blanchard the source of this, but one, it's never okay to promote hate. So whether these allegations are true or not, if you choose to believe them, I've always said where there's smoke, there is fire. We are not going to be throwing out such heinous accusations without at least a little bit of validity. But nonetheless, Tessa Blanchard is back in TNA. A lot of vitriol, a lot of backlash. There's a lot of professional wrestlers out there who are stunned that she is back in TNA. And the feud that she's involved with is someone that knows her very well. They've had a history. Jordynne Grace, the Juggernaut, former TNA Women's Champion, Knockout Champion. And reports are saying that Jordynne Grace does not want to do business with her, does not want to work with her. Can you blame her? But Jordynne Grace is a professional. I can't see Jordynne Grace making too much noise when it comes to, politicking in professional wrestling. Apparently, she doesn't want to work with Tessa Blanchard, but they're moving forward with that story. And I think Tessa Blanchard is going to go over in this feud. Because I'm quite certain that, if reports are to be true, Jordynne Grace is leaving. And why wouldn't she join NXT? Already has a working relationship with them. Already has a presence there. Has established herself as a top star in all of pro wrestling. So wherever she goes, it's going to work. But I can't see her staying long if they're going to have Tessa Blanchard there. For better or for worse, it was TNA's option to bring her back. And it was one thing to bring her back, but it's another thing to acknowledge what's going on. I don't think Blanchard has released a statement since the allegations. Maybe it would not have worked, but maybe it would have alleviated a little bit of the stress under the circumstance to at least acknowledge it. But she has not assumed any responsibility, still maintaining her innocence. But it's a slippery slope that TNA is playing with here. They were on a hot streak on the backside of 2023 during the duration of 2024, and now heading into 2025, a lot of people are looking at them like, they're looking at them a little crazy here. Like, what are we doing? You have Jordynne Grace, the juggernaut, and it's almost as if you're prioritizing someone else because someone might be on their way out. Allegedly. We don't know if Jordynne Grace is on her way out. That's just my prediction. But the story with Tessa Blanchard is very interesting, and it's something that we will be keeping up to date, as well as maintaining a mindful presence on as it continues to develop.